I recently started building this small garden in the backyard of a house that I don't live in. Great thinking on my end. Since I am not living at this house, I will not be here every day to water the plants. This leaves me with a few options. I could have the person living at the house water the plants, or install an irrigation system. In this video, we will find a viable option for irrigation that we can hook up to a rainwater collection system. Let's go off-grid. Since I'm hooking this irrigation system up to a rainwater collection system, I want a system that will not waste water by, for example, watering the weeds or just wetting the dirt. I will demonstrate two of the most popular irrigation systems and find out which one is the best for use with the rainwater collection system. Let's start our test with one of the most common irrigation systems out there. This is something you would find on like a lawn, so we will call it the lawn sprinkler. This is probably the easiest sprinkler to set up. Attach to a hose, attach that hose to a timer, program the timer, and you're done. So easy. Why can't you just use this sprinkler? When you turn on the lawn sprinkler, you can see how it waters the plants, but it also waters the surrounding of the garden, such as the weeds or the gravel. So the problem with the lawn sprinkler is that it waters not only the plants, but the surroundings. It's because it waters in a circular pattern. To help demonstrate this a little better, this black circle represents the garden, and this blue circle represents the spray pattern. You can see how it is watering the garden, but it's also watering the surroundings, such as the house, the gas meter, and the weeds. This makes the lawn sprinkler a poor choice if you're going to hook it up to a rainwater collection system, because once again, it's not just watering the plants, but it's also watering the surroundings. So that didn't happen. This brings us to option 2, drip irrigation. Drip irrigation allows you to send water only to the plants and nothing else. So for example, if we have 4 plants in our garden, we just need to set up 4 emitters right at the plants, and we're not watering the surroundings such as the house, the gas meter, or the weeds. Drip irrigation also allows us to easily control the amount of water we're using so that we're not overwatering or underwatering the plants. Another benefit with drip irrigation, if you want to water the olive tree across the backyard, you don't need to hook up another wasteful lawn sprinkler, which is watering the surroundings of the olive tree. For drip irrigation, just run some tubing across the lawn, set up an emitter, hook it up to a faucet, and you're done. So at this point, I think the choice is pretty clear on what system I want to use for my garden that I want to hook up to a rainwater collection system. These are two of the most popular systems used today, but how are people automatically watering their plants before systems like drip or the lawn sprinkler came out? The first automatic irrigation system was used in 2600 BC, or somewhere around that period, in Egypt. The system was a series of small channels and dams going throughout the entire garden bed and were automatically controlled by a series of pulleys and weights which would automatically water the plants once every day. Later, in around 1900 BC, people began using clay ollas to replace the old automatic irrigation system that used the channels and dams. Ollas are big unglazed clay pots that you bury into the garden bed and fill with water. The soil would slowly suck water from the ollas and moisten the soil, which the plants can then take from as they need. This brings us to the present day, where we now use tiny computers, solenoids, and a basic irrigation system to automatically water our plants. Since we are using a rainwater collection system, I wanted to see how much water our small system would use. To figure out how much water the system would use, let's first look at the emitters that we will be using for our garden. My system consists of 5 1-gallon per hour drip emitters at each plant. Since our emitters put out 1 gallon of water every hour, we can divide 1 by 60 and we get 0.116 gallons of water per minute. Take 0.016 and multiply it by 5, which is how long I'll run the system for, and we get 0.08 gallons of water, and we get 0.08 gallons of water, or 10.24 ounces of water per plant. Multiply 0.08 by 5, which is the number of plants I have, and we get 0.4 gallons of water used each day. To put this in perspective, if we use a 10-gallon tank, it will last at least 25 days before it needs to be refilled. With this information, I was able to install a basic drip irrigation system that I've been running off the city's water for the past week. I have not hooked up a timer yet. I have plans to use a timer I built in a previous video. But once I hook up that timer, I can hook that up to a small solar panel and connect this system to a rainwater collection system that I will build on my shed.